Always great to be chatting with Tom O'Connor. Is going to be back in action at XFC 44 coming up here on May 28th. He's going to be taking on Damonte Robinson. Tom, what's up, man? How's it going?
Not bad. How are you, James? Good to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you as well. Nice man cave, by the way, or I guess gym. Where are we right now? Let the listeners know where we are right now.
This is my house basement gym, so I got a little bit of, see if I can give you a little show.
Let's do a little
bit
Cribs
of mat
edition here.
Space, a bench, got the Swiss ball. So yeah, got the lion to remember, hey, who's the king of the jungle, and then remind myself I'm the king of the jungle, you know.
It all works out. That's good, man. Obviously, I just talked to Tanner Bozer actually maybe 30 minutes ago. He was telling me that, things are still on lockdown in Alberta, so I imagine most of the training is taking place at home.
Yeah, a large part of it is at home. Of course, me and my coach are doing traveling, so we're able to get a lot of reps in and just privately between the two of us, which is great. But yeah, a lot of adversity this camp, and hey, if there's one thing that we are as humans, it's adaptable. So, let it ride.
Yeah, no, that's great. It seemed like you got a lot of notice about this fight. When did you find out?
Yeah, I've had some notice. Just with the complications of COVID and traveling across the border, it was is up in the air. But I've known for at least 5 weeks now. 5 weeks before the fight, so 2.5, 3 weeks ago, it was set in stone and contracts sent to me and started moving forward on it. So yeah, I've known for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I'm sure you knew the date. It was just a matter of the opponent, right? I think they were working that out.
Yeah, with Kenny Cross having to pull out on that, then that changed things a little bit too. So yeah, I knew the date, and they were really good about that. Just waiting on the opponent, and got listed Damonte Robinson, which is awesome. He's a killer athletic guy too, and good win streak. He's got a good record, and yeah, so it should be a really fun fight.
Let's talk about the last fight, the debut for XFC. A great performance there over Jose Caceres. If that name sounds familiar, he's one of the only guys to ever defeat Kamaru. He's the only fighter to defeat Kamaru Usman. So you got that in your cap, so to speak. But overall, how happy were you and satisfied were you with that performance?
Yeah, I was super excited just because of the long layoff before. Of course, the caliber of opponent being so high, I appreciate, and being put in the ring and being able to share the ring with guys like that, that's what I want to do. I want to fight the best in the world. So as long as I'm continuing to climb the tiers, that's what I want. And so that was awesome. But the big joy was just being in there again and having an opportunity in such strange times to still be able to do what I love and kind of use the platform and show what I'm passionate about and have that opportunity even after a long layoff from an injury. So yeah, that felt good. And, just shaking it off and getting in there again. Everyone always talks about ring rust and how much it plays and everything. And of course, when you're getting prepared for a fight, that's not in your mind at all because it doesn't matter. But it definitely feels good just to get in there and do it again.
How did you feel fighting at 155?
I felt good. Yep. Yeah. My energy levels felt really good in the camp. Traveling and weight cutting, of course, is always tough. But at 155, it's not too bad at all for me. And especially just coming back from a long layoff, I really enjoyed that weight class. I like 155 and 145, but having that layoff, going into 155 and the tournament, the opportunity for the tournament, I couldn't say no to that. So yeah, I was happy with 155. It felt good.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Obviously, the future is still open for you going back down to featherweight. It's just for the sake of this tournament, you got to stay at 155. And it makes sense, right? Then you're not having to worry about the weight cut as much, right?
Yeah, and I honestly, I like both weights. I think I'm typically smaller than the guys anyways, so that's kind of universally been my career up to this point, is not just the underdog, but typically smaller and shorter and the smaller guy. And I don't mind that at all. I try and make sure it plays to my strengths. And my whole style is developed around it doesn't matter what size they are, so I'm not too worried about that weight class, but it definitely it worked out well bouncing back, but I look forward to going between 155 and 145 in the future.
You talked a bit about your opponent there. Style-wise, how do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
In this upcoming one, yeah, I think it's going to be a different style of fight versus the last one. I can really implement a lot of my wrestling, and I still plan to do that, but he's going to be a strong wrestler, and he's very athletic, strong guy. So it's going to be really interesting just to play my game, and I'm not overthinking what he's doing, And I never do. My style is always going to be try and implement the best version of Tom O'Connor, and that should give them enough problems however good they are. Whatever their game plan is, my game plan is to go through them. So I don't focus too much on what their style is, but my team and my coaches have watched footage on them, and we're working a few specific things. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just going in to showcase even more skill, new techniques, and just a more well-rounded full MMA game. There's some areas I really want to kind of showcase more in my fights. As you know, I train Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, everything martial arts now. I'm obsessed with it. So I want to showcase a little bit more in this next one, hopefully, and that's the game plan.
In terms of training partners, you talked about training with your coach. Any bodies there, or is it just you and your coach training right now?
It's mostly me and my coach, just because of the lockdown scenario with keeping distance and businesses aren't allowed to be open, so that changes things and where we can train. But I have a few just very small bubble that's very close, couple guys, and we're able to train together. But again, it's very limited, and 90% is with my coach and game planning with my coach. So, and then on my own.
Yeah, it's interesting. What about your day job? Like, how has that been affected with COVID?
Yeah, for the most part, was completely shut down. And so Zoom calls, things like this, that was a really lucky avenue we can kind of work and still have some type of income. But gyms were shut down. We had a period where we could be open for one-on-one training and working with the kids one-on-one, which, of course, is more difficult than being open. But like I said, adversity is going to only make us stronger. And with my job working with young hockey athletes and just young athletes in general, that's something we preach all the time. So when something like this happens, I'm not just going to drop that. I tell them, this is the time where you make up, it's even more on you, right? Making up that inch advantage over your opponents and the other people that are going to be fighting for spots on your team. That's going to even come down more to what you can do in your personal life, diet, all the goal setting, getting your mind and mental place right, doing the training on your own, doing your workouts at home, even if you don't have a gym. Those things aren't ideal, but having the ability to adapt and work around them is going to just be a great lesson for moving forward in life. And so I've been taking that to heart. I say that to the kids, so I'm kind of using that in my own life right now, preparing for this fight, which, I'm lucky to have that.
I don't know if you're working with any hockey players that are going to be in the draft this year, but I imagine it's challenging for them because, they want to get in front of scouts, but they're so, because of obviously the restrictions, a lot of people are having to just base things off tape. Is there a lot of these guys nervous just with the fact that they don't know where they're going to be placed? I think a lot of people don't know what's going to happen with the draft.
Yeah, I think just that, I think you said it right there, just a lot of people not knowing exactly. We hate to not know, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that is weighing on them in that sense. But it goes back to just, you have to do everything you can do. Don't focus on the things that are holding you back. Focus on the things you can do and make sure you're getting better. And the big one is the ice time before. Right now, it's basically over around here. But the ice time and making sure you could get enough ice time. And like you said, the footage, right? But the Western Hockey League, they were playing and they had games, so they were getting a lot of footage out there. But I think everyone is almost globally. This is a situation where globally we're all having to jump through some hoops of some sort, and we're all having to tread water lightly in certain areas, right? So I've been just trying to tell them just keep that strong mindset that we think don't focus on the things you can't control, focus on the things you can, and put the work in. Regardless, it doesn't change that. Is you still have to put the work in, and it's always going to be. In athletics, in life, hard work and dedication are going to make you travel the furthest. So trying to put that into daily life is going to be the key, I think.
When are you heading down to the States? What are the quarantine rules and all that?
So we have to quarantine before,
mm-hmm.
I think 3 days before, and we get a test before that. And then we can fly down, and we fly down on the 27th, fly down on the 26th. Weigh-ins are the 27th, fight the 28th. And then we come home on the 29th.
Right. So, yeah, it's all pretty compact together.
Yeah.
Which by the
drop in, drop out. Yeah, exactly. It feels like a mission, which it's not a bad thing. I got a mission and the task at hand: get in, get out, get home, back to the Wolfpack and Shannon here at home. So yeah, it feels a little bit more decisive, more, like a mission.
How's this fight playing out on May 28th?
I'm going to run through them. Like everything I do here it's going to be a hurricane. My fights are going to be messy, and I'm going to just grind and outwork them. And that's always been my style is I'm not going to say knockout or submission or anything like that. I'm going to just keep looking for opportunities. Anything he gives me, I'm going to take. And it's just going to be constant pressure. And I imagine he's the same way. The little bit I have seen of him, the things I've heard about him, he's very skilled, very athletic, but neither of us like to back up. So it's going to be an exciting fight. Like XFC is in for a treat, I think, with our fight, because we're going to collide in the middle and see who moves backwards. And I'm sure it's not going to be me moving back. I'm going straight forward, so mix it up, high-low, striking between grappling, variety, and so it'll be a bit of a nightmare is my plan.
How do you see the other side of the bracket playing out? Because obviously you're looking at who you could potentially be fighting with a win here.
Yeah, well, I've seen that Scott Hudson is out now, I believe.
Yeah, I was hearing that too, yeah.
Kurt Hollabaugh on again, and that's what I love about this tournament is getting into it and having my name in it, having the opportunity to fight in a tournament like this, in a time like this, just feels like such a lucky opportunity, because not only am I getting to keep competing, but also if I feel like I have went up a tier, and the competition I'm in, the names I'm around, they are another level. And now if I start showcasing my skills here, all eyes on me, and I really can take it to the next level, and that's what I plan to do on the 28th there.
We talked a bit of hockey there. I want to end with a bit of hockey talk. The playoffs are right around the corner. My Canucks unfortunately eliminated, but I'm actually happy. They weren't going to win the cup this year, so you might as well get the draft.
I'm a Red Wings fan, so
yeah.
Hey,
yeah. You know all about that, exactly. Actually, you made some. The Yzerman made some good deals at the deadline. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah. Actually, there was a few I've seen limited, but I did see that there was a few good ones. I've been a little bit on the NFL draft with the Steelers right now, and so I was excited about who they picked up as well. Yeah,
no, it's been a crazy time. At least we still have sports going on, right, during this whole pandemic. So at least we're getting the ball moving there. But should be interesting what happens with the the COVID restrictions and the bubble and all that with the playoffs. I'm sure you're kind of keeping tabs on that as well.
Yeah, I am. It's super exciting to see what those really big sports organizations, how they handle it, and they kind of set the bar for everyone else. And I'm not sure how the Canadian teams, right? It's such an interesting season because everyone has been in their separate bubbles. Everyone hasn't got a feel for what the other teams are like. Similar a little bit to last year, but even more so now. And I'm excited to see how the Canadian teams do. I know that the Canadian teams, all their star players destroyed my fantasy league. So I'm kind of still a little bit mad at McDavid and Matthews for taking me out, but I hope a Canadian team brings it home.
Tom, always a pleasure, man. Looking forward to this fight. May 28th, XFC 44. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
I just want to thank all my team, my family and friends. Everyone is so supportive always, and always hyping me up and bump my name out, put my name out there, and just always my fans and always in my corner. So first shout out goes to them, and Shannon always making awesome food so I can actually make weight. And other than that, Frontline Towing in Fort McLeod, they do an awesome job, and they always got my back. Progressive Fighting Academy, hard training, again, always has my back. So those are the main ones. And sponsorship and everything for this camp has been a little bit different than usual. But anyone that I've missed, everyone that supports me, of course, a big shout out to them because there is a lot of them.